It is UFC 323 fight week, which means I've got to give my full card predictions. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. First fight of the night, Mohamed Naimov versus Miran Santos. And when I was watching these two fight, this was a really tricky one for me to choose someone. But one thing I can say for sure, Miran Santos does kind of look like Mr. Bombinski from Coraline. I'm going to pop him up on the screen. Like, you watch him fight, he's got these skinny legs, skinny arms, little head, and just this really, really unnecessarily big body. He doesn't look normal, okay? He doesn't look like a normal human. but, in on to the prediction though. Mohamed Naimov, his counters are pretty good, right? But like, here's the thing I've noticed between these two, is Miran Santos is the better striker, but Mohamed Naimov is the lesser striker, but he does have grappling. But this is the thing I think. I don't think Naimov's getting Santos down. I think Santos has got good enough takedown defense to where he can stuff the takedown of Naimov and keep it on the feet. And when it's on the feet, I don't think Naimov can strike past the first round with Santos. So I'm going to go with Miran Santos via decision. I reckon he's just going to be the better striker, stuff the takedowns, make the reads as the fight goes on, and yeah, he just makes the reads as the fight goes on, and he gets better and better and better. But let's move on. The next fight of the card is Mansour Abdul Malik, making sure I said that one correctly this time, versus Antonio Tricoli. And if you have any sort of UFC knowledge, everyone will be going with Malik, because you know ball, and Tricoli's shit. I generally think there's amateurs out there who could beat this guy. I generally believe that. One thing for Tricoli is that he is 6'5". Well, it does say 6'6" when I was watching his fights, but now he's 6'5". But yeah, I just think he's terrible. He got finished by Gore. He got finished by Shara. And how did it take Shara Magomedov 2 rounds to finish this guy is really beyond me. He was controlling Gore, and he just put his head in a guillotine. I don't know. I don't know what like people are thinking when they fight, but it was the most retarded thing ever. But yeah, I will be going with Malik for a brutal first round knockout. I know he had his terrible performance against Cody Brundage, but he was kind of beating him that entire fight. And yeah, he has been controlled before by people like Nick Klein, but Tricoli's shit, man. If he's going to lose, you're not losing to fucking Tricoli. So, let's just move on. Malik's winning via brutal knockout. And, yeah, let's just move on. So, as a half Kurdish person myself, I have to take out my bias towards the Turkish guy. But I will be going with the Polish guy on the left who's got the Contender Series stuff on. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. I try to watch his fights, and his name isn't mentioned. If you can hear the wind outside, there's a fucking hurricane in the UK, so like there's nothing I can do about that. But I will be going with the Polish guy, which is rare, because I always choose the guy who's actually had UFC fights. But I'm looking at it, and I'm like, who's Ivo Aslan beaten? Kakera. That's it. Kakera's lost to anyone. Everyone. The only people he can seem to beat is... How does he even have a win? But Kakera's shit. He is fucking awful, right? And then, who's Ivo Aslan lost to? He's lost to, what was it, Jackson McVeigh, is it? Or was it another guy? Was it Billy Kleiner? I can't remember who it was. It was one of them two. Where it was a very boring fight where they kind of just shadow boxed in front of each other. Turkish power my arse. More like Turkish coward. And then other than that, he lost to Cutelaba. You know what I mean? And what I'm thinking is, by the way, that Aslan kind of just... He's very slow and ploddy. And if you know anything about this Polish guy, he has all first round knockouts. And he's kind of quick, you know. I know he kind of looks like a bag of bricks, but he is kind of quick. And I do just think when Ivo Aslan comes to go jab, he's just going to get countered with the overhand right, and he's going to get knocked out. I really do believe this. But this Polish guy, he's no joke. He's no joke. I watched his Contender Series fight and a few regional fights. he does start off his fight with a kick, and then the minute they try to like jab in, he gets the slip in the inside cross, and he knocks the fuckers out. And you know what? I would be biased and be like, this Polish guy out here, but like, he is good. I do want to choose like Ibo Aslan just purely off of his just experience in the UFC, but I've seen nothing from him. To me, he's practically still a debut guy, So I will be going with this Polish guy on the left. Can someone please give me like a pronunciation sheet, the same one that Bruce Buffer, Michael Buffer, you know what I mean? Same one they get. Look who's came back to the UFC. Jalen Turner is back and he's taking on Edson Barboza at lightweight. Yeah, and I you know what? I got curious and I was like, why is he returned? Because I think it was like something like, I don't want to be the gatekeeper of the lightweight division, which is fair enough, right? I've looked at his career, and unless Jalen Turner's been in the gym for the last year, unretired, right? And he's just decided, now I'm retired, and then he's just decided, now I'm going to come back, then I don't believe it, right? But all I've seen in his last 5 fights is loss, but then he's got the win over Bobby Green, where he pretty much attempted to kill a man in between those 4 losses. So in his last 5 fights, he's got 4 losses, 1 win. And Bobby Green is kind of washed now. I just think Edson Barboza is probably going to piece up this guy. He's probably going to piece him up, get in the clinch of him, kick the fucking legs off him. If he's been retired, he's not been dedicated to the sport. He's not been in the gym every day. I don't really think he's going to win this one. I think he just came back for the money. Can we now just take a moment of silence for Marvin Vettori's career? He went from main event, co-main event, to now being the early prelim headliner. It's so bad, and now he's fighting a guy who may or may not finally crack this dude's chin. What are the UFC doing? They really don't like him, do they? They really don't like him. But can an Unk get a win this year? Because if you don't know, this year's been the year the Unk. Volkanovski won. Usman won after fucking 50 years of sitting out with his fucking legs kicked up on the chair, drinking a fucking coffee, right? Who else won? I'm trying to think of the other one. Benil Dariush against fucking Moicano, right? There's loads of examples of this. Can we get one more before the end of the year with Marvin Vettori? Because I can't just feel bad for him. And although I want Bruno Ferreira to win because he always gets a finish and it's always a fun scrap, I'm going to be honest, man. This is closer than people think, but Bruno Ferreira is going to win, man. Bruno Ferreira is going to win. I think it's going to be mostly a striking fight. I think if Bruno Ferreira takes it down, I think that would be like the worst case scenario, as Vettori still has good scrambles in him. He was scrambling well with Allen. I don't think the grappling should be the way to go with this fight. I think it should be more keep it on the feet. And because Marvin Vettori, he has the striking capacity of like, I don't know, beginner. Like he throws his jab and he's like, "Ooh, I've got a right hand too." Throws the jab cross, and then he's like, "Jab, cross." It's so funny to watch. It's like he's figuring out how to strike in the cage, and then he'll throw his left hook now and then. It's kind of funny to watch, and I just think Bruno over here is just a much better striker. He's gonna piece him up. Watching a Marvin Vettori fight is so funny when you notice that. But yeah, I think Bruno Ferreira is just going to beat the shit out of him. I'm not going to go a knockout, not yet anyway. I need to see Vettori dropped before I can choose him via knockout. Maybe this is the fight where he gets dropped, and his next fight's where he gets knocked out. But yeah, I'm going with Bruno Ferreira. We're now on to the first prelim fight, which is Nazim Sadikov versus Fiesa Ziam. This fight is terrible matchmaking. Both of these men should be fighting like ranked opponents at least. I had it on one of my videos. Fiesa Ziam should be fighting Michael Chandler. But yeah, we have like a logjam of contenders in each division. Featherweight and lightweight. There's just loads that deserve ranked opponents, but they ain't getting any. It's terrible. It's terrible matchmaking. But let's just get into the prediction of this fight. I really don't know. I've watched all their fights. I've put some notes down on my phone here. And it's like, with Nazim Sadikov, he usually gets pieced up before landing something really big that rocks them, drops them, or whatever. And he'll either get a finish, or then he'll finish them in the next round when they're not fully recovered. But, even in his last fight against, was it Motta? Is that how you say his name? Something Motta. Who was kind of like some journeyman who just came in there to fight him so Nazim could get like a free win. He was kind of getting pieced up in there, and I'm just going to say he didn't like the pressure, he didn't like the body shots, and if I was Fiesiziam's coach, I'd be like, right, you need to put him on the back foot, you need to target the body, you need to stop all your spastic shit where you randomly jump in the air for no reason. Like, he's generally like a frog in there. Have you ever watched a Fiesiziam fight? He's always jumping around the fucking cage. Don't you think that would be annoying? Because that would be annoying, personally. I'd just be like, well, I'm fighting a literal frog. What the fuck am I supposed to do here? He has good body shots himself, Ziam does. He really does have good body things. But it's like, I don't know. And it's like, the same way Fiesiziam gets his takedowns by, like, shooting, body lock, picks them up, slams them, is the exact same way McKinney took him down. And I know McKinney got like kind of reversed and choked out cold, but like McKinney's kind of retarded. And I know he's further up on the card, but he's kind of retarded. And like, I say that respectfully because he is a fun fighter. He gets first round finishes. That's pretty cool. But he is pretty retarded, and I don't think with Ziam, I don't think he's just going to be like, yeah, come on, take my back and choke me out, please, in the middle of the thing. Like, Fiesiziam, he has great scrambles, he is hittable himself, but I don't really think that matters because he has so much heart. Like, if you've seen the clip where he's in, like, a deep-ass knee lock, was it? No, a calf slicer it was. And there was something else as well, it was a guillotine choke. And he just fights out of it. He won't tap. He will not tap. If you get him in a choke, he won't tap. You get him in an armbar, he doesn't tap. That was another one as well, an armbar. He almost got armbarred one time. Didn't tap to that at all. And it's like, how the fuck are you going to beat that guy? If he's not tapping to armbars, he's not going to quit. So, I don't know. So I'm going to go with Ziam. I think I'm going to go with Ziam purely with the grappling. Because although Ziam's striking is questionable, so is Naimov's. Fucking hell, I've forgotten his name. Hang on. Nazim's striking. Nazim's striking is also pretty questionable at times as well, but he just lands something big at the end of every round and wins the round off that, which is damage-based scoring. And sometimes it can be a bit annoying when that is how he wins a fight, by landing one big shot after getting pieced up. Like, even against Borshev, man, instead of just taking the easy route, which is grapple with Borshev and beat him in the first round, he decides, I'm going to strike with him. And that's not good IQ either, but like, then I'm looking at Ziam's fight and he's jumping around like a fucking frog. Jumping front kicks, thinking he's Oliveira, flying knees that just always miss. So, I don't know, I really don't know, but I'm going to go with Ziam, and I think he's going to use the pressure, the grappling, the body shots, the obvious stuff if you watch both the fights. I think he's going to use the grappling, use the body lock, take him down, control him a bit, get some damage off, cut him open a bit. I want to say, like, I am really scared for both of these guys because they are really fun, but I think Ziam's just slightly bit more technical and better. So I am going to go with Ziam. But this is such a close fight, and if you ain't watching this fight, you're not a hardcore fan. That's simple, because every hardcore fan knows this is going to be a fucking scrap. Everyone knows Fiesiziam is always going to be a scrap. He needs a ranked opponent if he beats Nazim here. So, yeah. And we will be fighting for Fiesiziam's ranked opponent, because this is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous, but let's move on. On to the next fight, which is Macy Barber versus something Silver. And here is my super in-depth breakdown of this fight. Macy Barber's probably going to win. Moving on. We were just speaking about Terence McKinney, and here he is on the card as well. And Chris Duncan, he's a fun fact, and Terence McKinney were supposed to fight back in 2023, but Chris Duncan had visa issues, because getting a visa to America is like probably one of the hardest things you can ever do. And yeah, it never happened, but now it is, and I'm choosing Chris Duncan. I think this is a pretty obvious one. Although Terence McKinney is good in the first round, after the first round, he's like half the fighter he was in the first round. As well as that, it's like he is extremely chinny, so it turns into a scrap. You know he's going to get knocked out at some point, and if you can hear the wind outside, there's like a hurricane in the UK or some fucking shit, I don't know. But another fun fact, Terence McKinney actually beat Fies Ziam back in 2022. But I ain't going to hold that lightly, because Fies Ziam is like 10 times the fighter now. And if they were to fight again, I'd choose Fies Ziam. But that's just another cool fact for you. Yeah, and all Terence McKinney's done is beat two fucking shit people. Not shit, because Borshev, he is a good striker, but he just can't grapple. And then you got Demir Havovich, who's like shouldn't be in the UFC and is actually shit. But yeah, this is a pretty obvious pick. Everyone should be going Chris Duncan. Like, what? Terence McKinney's going to what? Take him down, control him for the first round. Could get him in a few submission attempts. Chris Duncan will get out of them. You know, and then what's going to happen? Chris Duncan's going to get into the second round and then start piecing him up. That's how I expect this fight to go. For a prediction, I'll probably go like Chris Duncan decision, maybe. Yeah, Chris Duncan decision. On to the final fight of the prelims. Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. And this, I think Grant Dawson's like number ranked 15 in the division. You know what, let me just check that real quick. But out of all people, they've decided to give Manuel Torres the ranking spot. You know what I mean? They give Manuel Torres the shot for a ranking, instead of like Ziam, who's on like a really good winning streak in the division. Just check him. Oh, he's ranked number 13. Somehow Rufi is ranked 14 for beating nobody of notice, and Ignacio is number 15. That makes no sense, but yeah, Manuel Torres is getting a shot in the rankings, and I believe Grant Dawson is going to give him another fraud check. Grant Dawson's good, man. I know he has that fluke against King Green, and I was like, well, if you're getting knocked out by King Green, of course you're going to get knocked out by Carlos Diego Vieira. Who do we get? We get Grant Dawson with pretty decent boxing, to be fair, and his typical boring wrestling style. Manuel Torres is good, and I think he'd probably beat a lot of people outside the rankings, but I just think Grant Dawson's just going to take him down and just wrestle fuck him as well. He's really skinny for the division, which usually means you're going to be very manipulatable in the grappling. So, yeah. Obviously, I'm going to go with decision. You know, Grant Dawson decision. Wouldn't expect it, would you? But, yeah, I think Grant Dawson's going to win this one. And, yeah, he's going to womanize afterwards. Which is based. We need more of it. More misogyny in the UFC. Let's go. But let's move on to the main event. Main card. We're now on to the main card, and the first fight of the main card is Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. Now, I'm going to try and keep my bias out of this, because if you don't know, I'm a die-hard Jan Blachowicz fan. So we need to compare careers at the moment. Last 3-4 fights, Jan Blachowicz has been robbed, essentially. Olberg should have won that one. Pereira was super close, probably should have won that one, but who knows, it could go either way. And Ankalaev, he definitely won that fight, he was so closer to finishing the fight. And with Bogdan Guskov, he's just on a knockout streak, a straight up knockout streak. So, you know what? I'm choosing Jan Blachowicz anyway, because Jan Blachowicz is just getting it done. I've noticed with Bogdan's fights, he does get, when people are hitting him, he does kind of, freeze a bit. And I think when Jan Blachowicz is in front of you throwing his jab cross into a lead body kick, I think you're also going to freeze a bit. As well as that, Guskov has shown zero grappling in his career. He was controlled by Billy Kleiner, who got his back for a majority of the first round in his UFC debut. Jan Blachowicz is going to beat him on the feet, and he's going to take him down and beat him on the ground, and he's going to beat him to a decision, a very dominant decision. I'm definitely not terrified, as like Bogdan Guskov has real KO power, and Jan Blachowicz is very hittable. I'm definitely not terrified for my Jan Blachowicz at all, in the slightest. But yeah, Jan Blachowicz is going to get it done, very dominant. He's going to beat him up. I'll be real, I am terrified, but I do actually think that Jan Blachowicz will get this done against Bogdan Guskov. I'm just worried about the youth, the chin, and everything else when you're going up against a power puncher at like 40-something-year-old. It's not good. It's not good. But let's move on. On to the next fight, which is Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. And let me tell you something, I rewatched Henry Cejudo's last fight against Song Yadong, which apparently this fight against Peyton Talbot is actually his last fight. But Song Yadong, in that fight, Henry Cejudo was doing pretty fucking well. I'm going to be honest, he was doing really well. In the first round especially, but he started slowing down, possibly to the eye pokes maybe, or maybe to the shots of Song in the clinch was kind of hitting him quite a bit. Because the kind of the fight was going is Henry Cejudo was piecing him up on the feet, but then he'd shoot a takedown, be in the clinch for too long, and then get counted and rocked a bit. But like he wasn't like visibly rocked, and that's what it kind of seemed like to me. And that's why he kept on that's why he probably lost the fight via decision. If he didn't shoot those takedowns, he probably would have pieced up Song Yadong to before the eye poke, probably fucking even a 30-27 maybe, but. Peyton Talbot is a different striker, and I know it sounds retarded, but Peyton Talbot is a different striker. He's more long, he's more rangy, while Song Yadong's more of a boxer. And yeah, so when I say I don't really know what I'm going to choose in this fight, I really don't, because Andrea Lima was doing really well against Peyton Talbot with a jab cross and that, but I don't think he knew how well he was doing. Because he was kind of like jab cross, and then he was sporadic on the feet, sporadically just kicking the shins of Peyton Talbot, like you do when you're a pro MMA fighter and been training your entire life. And yeah, he was just hitting shin, and then he'd just shoot a spastic takedown and then get held on bottom position from like 50 kilometers away. He'd shoot from the other side of the cage. Like, you're not Khabib. You're not Khabib. You don't have generations of inbreeding on your side. You're not going to be able to shoot from the fucking analyst desk to your opponent and get the takedown. It's just not going to happen. So, in this fight, you know what? I'm going to say Peyton Talbot gets the win. I'm going to say Peyton Talbot somehow does better than an already. But am I going to go there? I'm going to say Peyton Talbot gets it done. I'm going to say Peyton Talbot's youth, speed, because I'm re-visualising it in my head. And Song Yadong was actually, like, as it was going longer and longer, he's starting to piece up Cejudo, because Cejudo fights awkwardly in this karate style, with his chin wide open to be smacked. I can so see Talbot hitting him with that. And for the grappling, I could definitely see Cejudo getting him down, but like I said, when you're a wrestler coming into MMA, I don't take account of your wrestling credentials. I just don't care. It just doesn't. It's just not a thing for me unless you're from the mountains and you have about 50 million years of inbreeding on your side. I don't really care, to be honest. So yeah, I will be going with Peyton Talbot, and I'm gonna say decision. I'm gonna say rocks. I'm gonna say rocks. Henry Cejudo, maybe once or twice, but I'm not going to say he knocks him out cold. I don't think he will knock him out cold. Henry Cejudo's still got a chin, he's still got a blockhead. He's just a little short blockhead, you know. But yeah, I'm going to go Peyton Talbot, but this is closer than people think, and if you want to get some, like, I saw the odds on Instagram, and the odds in favour of Peyton Talbot are crazy high. So if you wanted to get an underdog win, I'm telling you, Henry Cejudo is not a bad choice. He's not a bad choice at all. But yeah, I just don't want to go for two underdogs on the card with Bohovic and then Cejudo, because then it would be like, is he just trying to be different for the sake of being different? And I'm not. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Peyton Talbot in this one, but like only by like the slightest bit. We're gonna see a lot from Peyton in this fight, but let's move on. I'm starting to ramble quite a bit. On to the feature fight of the card, Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira, and I'll be lying if I said I didn't have to quickly just go rewatch all their fights, because I forgot they were on the cards, but yeah, I thought this was a fight night, to be honest, but yeah, and I will be choosing Tatsuro Taira, which is a very unpopular opinion it seems, because everyone seems to be choosing Brandon Moreno, but I rewatched Pantoja fight with Moreno, and I cannot lie when I say that Brandon Moreno, he was kind of getting pushed over to the cage side, and then that's where Pantoja would take the back and get the body lock and take him down, get the hooks in and sort of all that type of stuff, where he's like on one knee and he's got like one hook in, one hook out, and then you get the other hook in. And I saw a lot of Tatsuro Taira do that in the last 2 rounds against, last 3 rounds against Royval, do the exact same thing. So I think it'll get really scrappy on the feet, like super scrappy on the feet between the Lego man and the Asian man. And yeah, the battle of the weird voices. As I also say this while also having a weird voice myself, but yeah, this is like the definition of a battle of the weird voices, and I think Tatsuro Taira will get it done. I think he'll have the good moments on the feet, good moments on the ground, and I think at some point he'll get a good position like the back, and yeah, when he gets the back, he'll have it for the whole round, and Moreno's just trying to fight out of it, but he can't, and yeah, it'll go to a decision. I don't think Taira will get a finish, especially when he couldn't finish like some random scrubs like coming up, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tatsuro Taira, and yeah, on to the co-main event, Alexandre Pantoja versus Joshua Van. Now let me say something. I think Pantoja's gonna make this look easy. Now, and there's multiple reasons why I think Pantoja's gonna make this look easy. One of the main reasons is how normal people fight, where they like to just, figure them out first and like throw a jab. What do they throw? Nothing back. Cool. And then they're like this, that, and the other. Pantoja doesn't do that. Pantoja doesn't make reads. Pantoja just fucking blitzes in with swinging shots, finishes it off with a kick, which will be there all day, by the way. That kick will be there all day against for Joshua Van. Pantoja fights like he doesn't want to be there. That's the mood that comes off. He's just like, oh, let's just get this over and done with. So he's fucking moody, goes out there, barrages in, kicks them, then takes them down. And Joshua Van only started training when he was 17. He started training when he's 17. And if you've grappled before, you know there's a massive difference between someone who's grappled since birth and someone who started training mid-teens or the end of the teens. And as well as that, for Van, although he is such a good fighter and I wish he could win, I just don't think he is. But another reason on why I ain't choosing him is that he's had 3 fights this year, going on to 4. That will be 4 weight cuts. By fight night, that's 4 weight cuts this year. We've already heard it with RDR, and this could probably affect Merab in the main event. I'll mention that later though. That's 4 weight cuts this year though. That is not good. As well as that, like, Pantoja's grappling is just on a different level. I know he's 35. It's that age where it's like you either get badly KO'd or you just demolish people. But it's that age where it's like he might lose the belt now. But I don't think so. I think he's just going to barrage through, get him on the fence, take him down, get the back, and I think he's going to get a rear naked choke. And I was going to say round 1. I was going to say the first round, but I think that's a bit too wild. I don't think he'll get the back that quickly. But Joshua Van is a small, flyweight. I know that doesn't make sense because he's like flyweight is the smallest division, but he's so small for the division. Pantoja's probably quite big for the division, but he's short in terms of size. Van, he's skinny and 5'5". Pantoja, he's fucking built and 5'5". So I think there's going to be a massive strength difference, a massive grappling skill difference on the feet. I even think Pantoja's going to beat him on the feet. And although I do think if anyone's going to beat him in that pocket, it's going to be Van. It's going to be Van. And I did say that about Kai Kara-France. And look what happened. But I just rewatched that Kai Kara-France fight. The way he was talking about Kai Kara-France being like, oh, he's the Mike Tyson of the division. And he did not care that he was a Mike Tyson of the division. He just walked forward, fucking finishes off with the kick, takedown. Got his back, choked him out. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do in this fight. I think he's going to take the back and thingy. And as well, he's got good kicks. The lead kick, he could definitely kick him in the head. I'm just saying, like, he's got long legs, Pantoja does. He could definitely kick him in the head. I'm just saying that much. It's open. And I really want Van to win the belt at some point, but now is not that time. He's not winning the belt. He's just not winning the belt against Pantoja. Pantoja's different, man. And there's a reason they've put Merab and Pantoja on the same card. It's because they want to make that fight at some point. Pantoja moving up, Merab defending his belt. And I even think he could give Merab some problems. But let's move on to the main event. We're now on to the main event. Merab Dvalishvili versus Peter Yan 2. Merab is so boring, man. Like, can we please have a different champion? Like, can we have someone with Merab's personality and his retardation, and like Peter Yan's fight style would be amazing. Like, I just want to see Merab at every press conference of Umar. So like, just forget everyone else there. I just want to see Merab and Umar there every single time. And I just want to hear like, no, you have to be man first. You have to be man. And like, when Corey Sandhagen said he's going to shoot on him, talking about shooting a takedown, he's like, you said you're going to shoot me. You're not going to shoot me. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, he's such a fucking idiot. But it's like, it's funny, and that's what we need. We need more retardation, because clearly it's working. Merab just shoots about 50,000 takedowns and he wins fights, and I reckon that's what he's going to do again. He's going to shoot another 50,000 takedowns and he's going to get the win. Am I going to say Peter Yan cannot get it done? No, he definitely can get it done. I've seen him on the internet training in knees down the centre, which when you're fighting someone who just shoots endless takedown, definitely could work. Yeah, and as well as that, even like a head kick or something, I think he was training them as well, but even a head kick, because they're both short, it definitely could land. And it's like, if you could land one of them, you definitely could get the knockout too, because Merab always comes forward. There's no thingy. I feel like people should more pull counter with Merab and create the angle first. But yeah, I just don't see a way Peter Yan's going to win this. What, he's going to land a knee? Yeah, cool. Right, Merab's just going to take it. Like, there was a moment in the fight, the original fight, where they collided shin on shin. Merab calf kicks Peter Yan. Yan checks the kick. Who does it hurt? It hurts Yan. Merab just keeps coming forward. I honestly think Merab is so inbred to the point where it's just like, he doesn't feel pain. Like, where normal people like stub their toe in the night on the bed, he's just like, doesn't even feel it. He just continues on. You know what I mean? And that goes for the same for a fight. He gets punched in the head. He's just like, fucking doesn't even know what it is. So he's just like, yeah, just keep fucking throwing punches. Eventually it'll stop. And then just shoot a takedown every now and then with his probably abnormal grip strength. It's not normal. But for Peter Yan, I'm going to make a little mini game plan for Peter Yan. Use your own trips. Use your long guard to try and like post when he shoots, and obviously keep using them knees. Don't start at your pace. Just just go out there and just swing at him and hope for the best. And yeah, you need to use your calf kick. Yeah, although you watching that last fight, probably not the best idea. Probably not your best idea. Yeah. And something as well. I've noticed in the first fight, Merab got that headlock position so many times. If he submits my Peter Yan, I will be so fucking angry. It's like, I don't even hate Merab, I just think he's funny, and like, I do find his fight style slightly boring. It's not as boring as it used to be, but it's like, he's gotten better, if you know what I mean. But if he submits my Peter Yan, I will delete this channel. I'm being not like there's much to delete. I've got fucking 16 subscribers, but I will commit suicide. That's how sad I will be. Do not be submitting my PCN, but I don't think he will, to be honest. I think when he submitted Sean O'Malley, I think that's just Sean O'Malley's poor grappling IQ, and yeah. Merab, man, I don't know who's going to beat him. I think we need like someone like a Pantoja, someone like a Gene Silver at like bantamweight, something like that, like the Fighting Nerds takedown defense where they always threaten the neck. It's just an unbeatable style. There's no way of beating him. He's on EPO. He's clearly on EPO. You're gonna wait till he retires, but he said he's gonna be fighting till he's 50. So what's the point? He's gonna have he won his belt when he was 30 something. He's gonna have more title defenses than John Jones at this rate, because no one's gonna be able to beat him. His style's just, you're gonna have to shoot endless takedowns back on Merab. There's no one's gonna beat him. But I really don't know what to say. Merab's gonna win another fucking 50-45 decision. More knees against the thigh. More takedowns. I'm guessing you love takedowns. And yeah, another thing I want to mention is, right, you know the big bruise on Jan's face that got taken out of context? That wasn't by Merab. That was from a head clash. People using that yeah, this guy's gonna beat Merab. This guy was headbutted by Merab and couldn't see for the last 2 rounds and was doing pretty well. Ish. A big ish. But yeah. I really don't know what you want me to say. Merab's gonna win. You know what I mean? But that's the end of the video. So, subscribe, follow my Twitter if you want. Up to you. Actually, comment something too, comment some feedback. I actually want to make these videos semi-decent to watch. To me, they seem kind of boring because it's just pictures. So if you've got any suggestions on how I can improve that or anything, that would be great. And I ain't buying a face cam. I'm too ugly for that shit. And I'm just trying to make these videos the best I can. And maybe what I should also do is not record all these on the same day, because it's very, by the time you get to the end of it, it's just I just want to get this over and done with. But I did this one mostly last night and did it mostly this morning, and it went pretty well. There was a few fights where I feel like I could have said a bit more, but yeah, it is what it is. I'll get better as time goes on. But yeah, subscribe, follow my Twitter, Anti-Dagestan MMA, and we will be defeating Merab via a knee in the first round. But yeah, that's the video.